Hey everybody. So I figured I'd try to actually make a video that didn't seem like absolute crap to me. So spent some time, got my makeup on, put some cute earrings, and did all that fun stuff. Well, starting from the beginning, I've known I'm different since I was, I'd say 6, 7 years old. I just knew. I'm sure a few of the rest of you girls know what I'm talking about, where I started wondering why this was different, why that was different, and why why. And I don't know if my family convinced me it was normal, or if just based off society I decided it was normal. I don't know. But fifth or sixth grade of elementary school, I remember distinctly one day looking down. It was a early spring probably, and realizing that my legs had this ugly black hair on them. And I remember being so embarrassed by it. Something that a normal guy would be, yay, I'm becoming a man. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. That started my lifelong love-hate relationship with razors and shaving all my body hair off and getting rid of all that crap. It's probably a reason why I consider myself a lesbian, because I hate body hair. It disgusts me. So, unless I find an amazing person who doesn't have that and still has those other parts, chances are I'm going to be with cis women or trans women, because beards and body hair, yuck. And, I'm nothing against guys, nothing against girls that like guys. That's what you like, and you're welcome to it. Anyway, so I remember probably middle school. I remember, you kids are always saying stupid crap and all that. And I remember hearing about how Trinidad was the sex change capital of the world and other crap like that. And I remember being very jealous that those girls got to be girls. And, I knew then that that was what I wanted. I just knew it. I knew that that was a thing. And then, high school hit, and started hiding behind a goatee, and, still shave my arms and legs and my chest and all that. Luckily, I dated girls that like that. And then got out of high school, still confused as hell. Kind of spun my wheels for a few years until just after 9/11, I decided I'm going to serve in the military. I'm going to do my part. And I've never been a happy person. I've always fought with depression. I've always fought with feeling like something was wrong. And for the longest time, I not admitted to myself that I'm transgender. It took me 35 years to finally embrace it. So I spent my time in the military, did the hyper masculine thing, and always felt like I didn't belong. I always felt like I was pretending. I always thought like or felt like I didn't earn it. I didn't belong. I wasn't supposed to be there. I wasn't capable of being as gung ho as everybody else, or whatever. And I've spent a lot of my life like that. So got out of the Marines. Was a bouncer for a few years. Actually took pleasure in having the nickname Cupcake. My boss at the time was really tall. I mean, like really tall dude. Biggest teddy bear I ever met, by the way. But he got a lot of pleasure out of telling people that they just got their ass beat by a dude named Cupcake. And so, that was like the going joke through the whole place. And I loved it. It's probably the first nickname in my life that I've enjoyed. I definitely didn't like a couple of nicknames in high school and middle school, but it is what it is. So, flash forward a couple of years later, I meet my kid's mom, and almost overnight we're pregnant with our son. That was an amazing experience. Of course, back then, I still was completely bottled up and unemotional and a bunch of other things, so I'm sure that drove her crazy. Like in my first video, when my kids were born, it was just a thing. Now I'm 10 times more emotional about it, and it kind of hurts. It hurts knowing that I've wasted all my life not feeling. And then my daughter came around. She's my little princess and absolutely beautiful, just like her mother. And just an amazing, amazing child. Between my son being born and my daughter being born, I lost my mother. My mother suffered from Meniere's disease, and if you want to Google it, but long story short, basically it's like being shit-faced drunk and having the spins, but not being able to stop the spinning. People with cancer and everything else, there's a light at the end of that rainbow. It's either a cure or it's a train running straight into you and it being over. My mom kind of rattled the world for a while there at the end of, it's not fair. Why won't this kill me? Why, when a dog or a cat is suffering, well, we put them out of their misery. I mean, the exact words, put them out of their misery. But yet we won't do it for people who are suffering from something that they will never recover from. There is no cure. I mean, she had every surgery possible. And they replaced drainage tubes, they used chemicals that deaden the nerves on one side, they did brain surgery on one side to completely disconnect it. She had last surgery possible, and she's expecting another 5 good years like she did last time. It was like 5 weeks, and it was 5 times worse. We knew it was coming because she had already tried once, and they admitted her to the hospital, and she went to one of those places you go after you try to commit suicide, and they want to keep an eye on you and watch you. And then she finally made it home, and I couldn't bring myself to go visit her there. It just scared me too much. And I feel selfish because of that. I feel kind of horrible. Actually, I do feel horrible, not kind of horrible. But at the end, at least I was able to tell my mom that I would never hate her for that decision. I would never be angry with her. yes, I would be disappointed, and yes, I would miss her. And, it's not fair to my son that he really never got to know her. She was pretty incredible. And she worked for Kaiser, I'm pretty sure most, if not all of my life. And she spent most of that time working in the ER. And she loved it because she could help people. She got to see people at their worst, at, when they're close to death, and she made a difference. And that was important to her. And within Kaiser, she won what they call the Summit Award. And at her funeral, a guy came up. He goes, I'm so and so, and I'm from California. And, my job is to administer the Summit Awards. And he tells me, your mom was one of the very first people we ever awarded this to. And I still compare everyone, doctor, nurse, whoever, to your mother to see if they're worthy of receiving that award. And I'm pretty sure I would have broke down and cried if I was capable. But then it was just I was broken. Very, very broken. I've cried about it since, for sure. I've got 3 boxes of my mom's stuff that I'm still too terrified to even go through. Someday. Maybe I'll finally go through it all and I'll learn more about my mom that I never knew. When we told some of her friends at Kaiser that she was gone, they actually had like an impromptu wake that they did at a local bar near where she worked. And they told me that the bar had to stop letting people come in. They overflowed out on the street because everybody wanted to come by and talk about Patty. If I can be even a tenth of the woman she was and help people, I feel like my life meant something. Anyway, so it's been a few more years of just being stupid, stubborn me. And finally met a pretty good woman. I don't know, I still kind of think she might have been the one. But I might fuck that up too. But one day, we're laying there getting ready to go to sleep. And she asked me, she goes, are you one of those guys that secretly wish they were a woman? I immediately, no, not at all. But it bugged me. So for about a week, that's all I could think about was, why does that bother me so much? And then one night we were laying there and I go, you remember that question you asked me? She goes, yeah. I go, I think I am. And she just kind of looked at me and was like, huh? I was like, I think I am one of those guys who wishes they were a woman. I really didn't understand what that meant then. So, her and her typical, I must research this and I must find out everything I can about this and be informed. She immediately started researching it and went, okay, look, here's a place in town. This is what they specialize in. Call them, make an appointment, go in, and get therapy. Figure this out. So I made my first session. I went in there and I came out the door feeling free. Because I knew it. I was trans. I was actually a woman. Something I've known all my life, but refused to ever admit to myself. So, I call her on the phone. I'm so excited. And I'm this person who experiences life and can change my mind in a moment's notice. She, on the other hand, is a weigh it all out, make your decision, and this is the way it's going to be. So I start talking about name change and, there's surgeries and all these things. And she lost it on me. I get it now that she was scared and upset and freaked out. And here I am throwing all these changes at her at one time. And it freaked her out. And so we fought for about a week over it. And we finally came to terms with it. And she's like, we were engaged to be married. She was like, I love you with all my heart, but I don't know if I can be with you if you're a woman. And so for a good few months, I fought it. I was like, screw it, I don't want to do this. I'm just going to go back into denial so we can be happy. And then she forced me to face it. She's put makeup on me for the very first time. And I cried for like an hour. And I looked in the mirror and I was beautiful. I'd never felt beautiful before in my life. I didn't realize what I was missing. So she took me out and had me sized for a wig. I wore it like 4 times because I was too afraid. And I tinkered with makeup here and there and really didn't start using makeup until I finally moved out a few years later. I don't know if it's me being trans or just the fact that, our personalities really didn't mesh. But I still feel like everything that happened was my fault. And I kept internalizing it, and she would get upset with me, and I would just sit there and take it and get smaller and smaller. And I finally got to the point where I tried to take my life. And I don't blame her for that. I don't blame myself either. I blame the situation. She's a good woman. She didn't intentionally try to kill me. I miss her every day. I wish we were still friends. Maybe someday again we will be. But, so I finally moved out. This is where I live now. And during that time, the last probably 6 months of that time is when I started taking estrogen and spirolactone and all those other meds to start trying to feel right. And if you're on the fence about that, take the damn meds. They're like magic. I wish they affected my voice and could reverse that damage. They can't. I've been constantly working on trying to get better in where I need to be, but I've done so much damage to my voice over the years that anytime I try to do more than sing in a higher octave, from what I've read, I can't get the tone to sit right because air escapes through. And so I just end up sounding very breathy, and I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it every day. Maybe keep working on it. I can build muscle strength and get everything where I need it to be. I'm okay with it when I'm not talking down in here and being all gravelly, which the sad thing is that was something I was very proud of when I was a guy, was how deep my voice was. Now that triggers it so bad. Seeing myself in the mirror down there, just seeing that triggers so much. So I do my best not to look in the mirror in the mornings. I'm ready to come out at school finally. Terrified. I know there's protections against everything, and nobody can hold things against me and all that, but I'm afraid I'm going to lose my research position. Maybe they'll come up with some crazy reason why, but I'll know the real reason. It terrifies me. And not because I'm afraid of losing the money, I'm afraid of losing the one thing that makes me special and different than every other electrical engineering student in that campus. I'm doing things that nobody else is. And my nose is running from crying. So that brings us up to today. I'm a scared, sad girl who feels totally alone, and frankly, I'm afraid I'll never find love again. I've had a few people in my life bounce in for like 5 minutes saying that, yeah, I can totally accept that. And so I open my heart a little bit, and then they break it. There's been 2 people pretty recently that, they're the ones that started the whole thing. I just tried to be friends, but they're the ones that started everything, and I was the one left picking up the pieces. Don't tell me that you can handle being with Rebecca if you can't even try. If you can't even come up with the time to even try, leave me the hell alone. There's a girl I'm trying to date now, but she's in the same boat that my ex was. She doesn't know if she can do it. At least she has going for her that she's always said that she's not judgmental. But now she has to decide if she can actually do what she said she can. Sorry. I don't know. I'm kind of resigned to becoming a crazy cat lady. I've got a crazy cat and I'm crazy, so I don't blame you. So hey, put them all together, I'm good. Things are looking up though. Like I was saying before, I'm finally willing to accept who I am. I've decided it's time to completely kill that old name. It's officially dead. I don't want to respond to it anymore. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to be anything but me. And I know a lot of people aren't going to understand that quite yet. I don't care. I don't care whether you like it, whether you can handle it. I don't care whether you can even use my right name. Doesn't matter to me. That's you. What matters to me is what's here. And I know for a fact I'm a woman and my name is Rebecca. And I'm good with that. So I'm going to start the process of changing everything at school. I'm going to start the nightmare of officially changing it. And I'm going to start talking to my doctor about what it would take to get the gender confirmation surgery. I don't know if my insurance will even pay for it. So better start saving. There's $50,000. I don't know exactly what it costs. I've been avoiding that number because I'm absolutely freaking freaked out about that one too. Well, that's where I stand in the world. That's me. That's where I am now. We'll see where the future takes me. Oh, I do have an appointment to find out more about top surgery. Because, I've got a little bit. But I want enough to match my friend. Because, I guess what you would refer to as a barrel chest. So even if I got rid of all this weight, which I'm working on because I don't like it, I'm always going to have a large chest. It's the cards I was dealt. It doesn't mean I can't look natural. So I'm going to get implants. And they're probably going to be pretty decent sized ones because of, I'm pretty sure I'll never be less than a 42 to a 40 chest. I don't think it's possible. I could start breaking my ribs and slowly changing things, but I still don't think it's going to work. So, big boobs, here I come. I would love to do FFS and possibly the voice surgery just because, I don't know if I'll ever fix that. I don't know if I'll ever afford it in the first place. I think I'll probably do another GoFundMe page, share it, and see what happens. You never know. Might find somebody that's got money to the burn and feeling generous. Okay. I've taken up enough of your time for today. If you can be you, be you. If you can be a Jedi, be a damn Jedi. But be happy. No matter what the hell you are. It doesn't matter. Life's too damn short. Don't waste it. Don't ignore yourself. Don't put yourself down. You are beautiful. Even if you're a guy. You are special. And you're important. Do good things. Be nice to others. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. I love you all.